So what we're going to aim for is a nice smooth section. Okay, so if we were dressing out hair and we wanted to smooth out a curl, we're going to be using our paddle brush. So this is a paddle brush and also known as a flat brush. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop a nozzle on. What does a nozzle do, guys, when you're blow drying? Someone tell me.
It's not going to be laid out, it
directs the heat.
Yeah, good. That's what it does. So it's directing the airflow, basically, onto the section that you're working in. So when you're smoothing out or you wanting, if you imagine this brush as an iron, you want to direct the airflow right onto the brush, so you're going to get a far more effective smooth finish. Okay. And what you'll also find, again, like I said last week when we were doing it, I hold my brush in my right hand, hairdryer in my left. Okay, so do have a play on that. Some of you found it quite easy to do both last week. I personally find it impossible to hold my brush in my left hand. I've got absolutely no movement in my wrist. So I always have my brush in my right hand and my dryer in my left, and I just work around the head to cover all the hair. So do have, ideally you want to be able to use both, okay? What we're going to do is just warm the brush up first, so just getting the heat through the brush. And we're going from middle heat guys, full speed, okay? And we're going to go, so we're going to lift the hair up. You can see I'm using my fingers here to lift the hair and put my brush underneath. Okay, my hairdryer is above the hair I'm working on, pushing the hair against the brush at all times. Again, I don't want to see anyone doing this. Always above the hair you're working on, okay? Nice small section, and you're just going to work your way down the section of hair till you get to the bottom. Then at the bottom we're just going to turn the brush underside, so you're going to get a nice turning it under. Okay, so you can see the air is travelling right through the brush and onto the hair. And always work quite slowly. The quicker you go down the hair like that, the more times you're going to have to go through it, okay? So, a bit like straighteners, the slower you go, the more likely you're only going to have to do it once. Okay, so we've smoothed it out. We're going to move on to our next section. And always above. You can see what you can either use your fingers to hold the section to get your brush in, or you can just go in and lift your hair up with the brush. Keep that hair dry moving, guys. Okay, and what you'll notice, I'm going to take my section without putting my hairdryer down. I want you to try and get in the habit of doing that, so don't turn your hairdryer off, put your brush down, keep them in your hand. You're going to have to start to remember you've got 4 fingers and a thumb and you need to use all of them, okay? So you're going to hold the brush, take the section. This is when these section tips are fantastic, because you can take your section, let it drop and catch the bit that you want to pin up and then drop your brush.
I didn't record that.
Where you can, try and do that without putting your hairdryer down, okay? You're going to start in the middle. Always start in the middle where the parting is. Get that root area dry first, okay? So you'll notice my hairdryer's moving. Get that root area dry, get the volume in the root, and then you move down the hair from the middle to the end, okay? You can see that area there that I've created, that root lift. You see, the higher you fold it up, the more root lift you're going to get in there. Okay? So you can see that nice root lift in that smooth area. Again, concentrate on that root. Don't forget you can move around the hair to get full impact into that hair. You can see you're getting volume in there and getting it nice and smooth. Some of you on Saturday when you were working, I did notice that you were getting the hair dry but the finish wasn't fantastic. So I want you to really work tonight and try and get that finish really smooth. And the reason some of you were finding that hard on Saturday was you were working on too much hair at a time. So you were trying to dry too big a section. lots of different reasons. Not concentrating, you're moving on before that hair is dry to your next section. So you must make sure your section of hair is dry before you move on to the next section. Okay? You can take a little bit more. And there's no rush. No one's going to get a medal at the end of it for doing it the quickest, okay? I want you to take your time and get it right. When you've got the technique correct, then you can worry about how fast you're doing it, okay? I want to see you do this properly, not the quickest. Again, we're going to get that root area dry. I'm not disrupting the hair I've already dried at all. I'm just picking up the section of hair that's still damp. What's going to happen if you're bringing up some of the hair that's already dry with your damp section? What's going to happen? What are you going to be doing to the hair you've already worked on? Yeah, so you're going to make your dry hair all wet again. So that's hence why, you only work on that section at a time. Okay? And once you're happy that it's dry, you can then bring the next section down onto it. Don't forget, for your assessment, guys, you've got to be able to blow dry the hair in 45 minutes to a standard that's acceptable in a salon. Some of your blow dries you saw on Saturday, you weren't anywhere near the time limit and the standard was nowhere near what it used to be. So what our aim to do these first few weeks of the term is to get your blow drying bang up to scratch so that we can move on to other sections, okay? When your blow drying is in 45 minutes and it's a good finish, then we're ready to move on to other things, okay? What we don't want to do is move on to other things so when your blow drying isn't ready. Your blow dries will be some of the first assessments that you do, so you need to be working on those, okay? See how important it is to get that finished. What you need to be able to do is get a smooth finish before you get a pair of hair straighteners anywhere near that head. What we find is people are relying on hair straighteners. People are relying on hair straighteners to get the hair smooth. You need to be able to blow dry the hair smooth yourself. And what you'll find, guys, as you move up the head, what you can do is use the brush slightly differently. So you might find your arms starting to ache. Your arms should be aching. If they're not aching, you're not blow drying properly, okay? So you want to keep those arms up, keep them straight. When you move upwards, so you can make sure you get the root area dry, you can go in sideways and use the brush like this. Obviously, if you're smoothing out, if you're trying to get volume in the hair, then that's not going to create any volume, okay? So it's not going to work. But on long hair like this, you're going to be able to do that, okay? You can see just turning it in around the face so we can get a nice smooth. Okay, so I'm just going to let this settle down a bit further. Again, we're going to be picking the hair up with the brush and we're smoothing it down. And that airflow is still pointing downwards. The hair is still being pushed onto the brush and creating a smooth finish. We're still lifting the hair up off the do a vent brush in this way. And you can see the advantage of a vent brush over this in this technique would be that the air will be flowing right through your brush. So it's obviously going to get that hair drier much quicker. And obviously it's not going to be as effective as smoothing the hair, okay? Like I say, on hair that's already smooth, it's quite effective. You can see we've got a nice smooth finish creating here. Cooking under slightly. I'm going to stop there because I'm aware of the time. I want you to really get into this. Right, you can turn it off, thank you, Ian.